One people, one planet, one love, one family. One people, one planet, one love, one family.
Good morning and welcome to SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferraro, and we welcome you wherever you are on the planet, knowing there's only one vibration, one harmonious symphony that plays through each one of us as we open up and allow that music, the symphony of our life, to express fully. And that's what the whole point of SoulCall Global is, to encourage you to realize your passion and to share it with others. Your soul's calling is waiting, and we invite you to share that. This morning, as we begin our SoulCall Sunday, as we do most weeks, it's with a practice of pulling in the energy of love, of light. And we use the skill of two master teachers. One is Sifu Helen Yi, and the other is Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz, as we practice Qigong, which is pulling in the energy as within, so without, as without, so within, just creating this confluence of energy and beauty. And today's talk folds right into this. It's attention and intention. And where we place our attention, energy flows. One of the things they say is energy flows. Where the mind goes, energy flows. But we're going to examine what the definition of mind is and how it could be different for each of us. But the practice of intention and attention is similar to each one of us, depending on which level we practice this level of awareness, this realization of sorts. So take an opportunity to get yourself centered and grounded with this really deep and beautiful practice offered this morning by Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz.
We are continuing today with the small mountain practice. So please look forward, stretching the vision from inside the mind's home out through Ba Hui to merge with infinite space. And from there, gather all the healing, chi, love, good wisdom, and pull it back through yin tang to the center of the head, and very gently close the eyes. Now be aware of the center of the head, shining brightly inside, and open up the top of the head, Ba Hui, to merge with infinite space, gathering all the healing, chi, love, good wisdom, pull it down inside Ba Hui, all the way through to the bubbling spring of each foot, Yong Shen, through the earth to merge with infinite space on the other side. Gather all the healing, chi, love, good wisdom, and pull it up, deep inside the center of our essence. The entire body relax. We're connected above, grounded from below, relaxing, merging, heart to heart, mind to mind, as one. Slowly bring the hands behind the back, palms together, thread the fingers, straighten the arms. Place your mind's consciousness between the shoulder blades. Then squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze, squeeze, holding the same hand position. Completely relax the shoulders. Opening, transforming. Again, straighten the arms, Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Mind's consciousness between the shoulder blades. Squeeze, squeeze. Holding the hand position, completely relax the shoulders. Now separate the hands to the side and observe from above the head the chi body holding the arms, the entire body, arms floating. Slowly circle to the front, palms facing the body, this huge, infinite chi ball. Cross hands, pushing it inside, through navel. Inside, full of chi. Relax hands to both sides, gently open the eyes. Smiling from the inside out.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Deborah. Many of you are aware of so many different things happening in the news these days. And even if you're someone like me who doesn't, I don't know, follow the news 24/7, or even I catch the headlines and then I, go into meditation about it. It's kind of what I feel is mine to do most of the time. But there's this awareness of what's happening right now with the Palestinians and the Israelis. And we wanted to address it a little bit in a place of bringing some peace in what we can do all the way over here in the United States as individuals. Many people you could fall on all sides of it if we look at it from the outside. But, just like the beautiful movie we watched last night, we sponsored My Octopus Teacher. Several different perspectives afterward were shared when we got into the Zoom room to discuss it a little bit. And there was just one thing that united all of us. There was the beauty with which we can participate with things that seem to be so different from us. And in fact, we inhabit one planet that we all call home. And how do we do this? How can we make way for a more peaceful experience on planet Earth, no matter where the borderline is from one country to the next, which just indicates where tax dollars are generated and, flowing. All of these reasons why this is this and that is that are all constructed. They're all constructs of mind. And what we participate with mostly becomes the way we think. But my mind is different than your mind. Your mind is different than somebody who even thinks 99% of the time, maybe wired just like your mind. But there's that 1% of your mind which creates an opportunity for a growing edge or a bridge between your world, my world. If we can remember to build that bridge and to leave the door of that idea open, of building a conscious global community, means heightening our awareness to not looking at things, but being aware of what's going on. I was saying this morning, it reminded me of, I played volleyball for a number of years in high school, and it was a varsity sport I loved, and it's another team sport. I love team sports because we each have a piece. But I likened it to, the team of playing volleyball, like to raise our awareness about something is part of it. Raise the awareness is like the ball being served up from, or, dug from the back line. Maybe the other team served it and the back line digs it up to the front. That's the awareness of, here's an opportunity. There's the ball. Then you set up your play. What are we going to do with this awareness, with this opportunity, right? So the setter comes over, sets the ball to a spiker, but you don't know which spike. Is it going to be 1, 2, 3? Is it going to be one of those little punch spikes? Is it going to be high? Is it going to go back? Is it going to, Is it going to be the person on the right or the left? But you set up the play. So the awareness is the ball coming from the back. But somebody puts this awareness into play from somewhere on the other side of the court. Somebody puts the ball into play. The person in the back line creates an awareness of an opportunity for us to do something with this information. The setter creates a specific idea of what's going to be done with this opportunity. And then the follow through is what the spiker, the hitter, will come and do their best to put that ball over the net with a deliberate intention. Their attention is on the intention of landing it on the other side, scoring a point, making a difference. So when we use teamwork, it's important to know which part of this team we're on. Are we the person in the back that fields this opportunity, that brings the awareness? Hey, this is something that's going on. And then the setter decides, depending on where the ball was brought up from, what to do with it next. Who gets this opportunity to do something about it with the skills they possess? So figuring out where you are on this team of awakened awareness in your conscious global community with SoulCall is what we would like to help uncover for you as we uncover it for ourselves in this constant evolution of consciousness. It might look different a year from now than it looks today. It might look different next week, tomorrow. But ours is to pay attention to what is happening, to be aware. So today we're going to talk about this. But I invited Natalia, brought forth a really beautiful poem. And come on in. Hi, Natalia. Welcome.
Morning. Hi, friends.
I can hardly hear you. If you can talk up a little.
That's fun.
What we're doing.
Let me see if I can.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Cool.
So this is our way of offering a bridge between being the peace that we would all so much like, and including the people who live there themselves. Maybe leadership is on a different track, but most often when it's the families you talk to, they want peace too. So what we're going to do today is a collective practice of sending peace, bringing peace forth from within us and offering it to our universal wave, our ripple out. And you could place your attention from your mind directly in the middle of that conflict, the Gaza Strip. You could put it right there, drop your drop of peace and allow it to ripple out. So we're going to start with a beautiful poem, and then we're going to offer the opening of the Quran. It's called the Al-Fatiha. And then we're going to offer a song called Ose Shalom. Islamic faith tradition, Jewish faith tradition, building a bridge of peace. So you're going to be part of that this morning as we practice this together.
So here's this beautiful poem that we love because of its peacefulness and its true intersectionality. This is called Peacemaking 2, and it is by Rabbi James Stone Goodman. I am making peace all the time now, in grand strokes and in small strokes. Grand strokes. I am making peace by knowing the heart of who they call my enemies. My enemies, I have discovered, are like me. I am making peace knowing that. Small strokes. I am also making peace by telling others, I know who sit on the other side of the peace fence are like me. We are all loving our families, tending to our friends. We are praying for our children. We are all of us peacemaking in this way. My friend from across the fence gets discouraged. He sees walls and believes they are insurmountable when we talk on the phone. I remind him that we are talking. Sometimes when we are eating together, he reminds me that we like the same foods. We love tea the same way, minty and sweet, strong coffee. When we dance to the same rhythms. The words of our songs are different, but even our languages have cognates, similar structure, same roots. One of those roots is salam, shalem, shalom. It's a lofty goal, but this is how we greet each other. Salam alaikum, alaikum as-salam. Shalom alechem, alechem shalom. It's not a promise, it's an aspiration, a dream of wholeness, integration. In that sense, peace from pieces. A sentiment. We say it going and coming, as if to remember what we know, We want the same things, and we are willing to remind each other when we need to. So here's a Fatiha opening.
Say shalom b'roma. Oh yes, say shalom aleinu. Ve'yako ha'olam bimru amen. Oh say shalom. Say shalom aleinu. Ve'yako ha'olam vimru amen. Oh yeah, say shalom. Oh yeah, say shalom. Shalom aleinu. Ve'yako ha'olam. Oh yeah, say shalom. Oh yeah, say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'yako ha'olam. Say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'yako ha'olam. Oh say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'ako ha'olam.
And in this moment, we bring our attention to our intention. And our intention is peace. Where we place our attention, the energy of mind flows. So we gather our intention from our sacred center, the place where we are one and connected, the sacred center of our soul. We bring that intention up and allow it to fully occupy the space of attention through the circuitry of mind. And may we connect our mind to the infinite source from which we all are created, where we come from, where we go to, and where we inhabit all the places, spaces, joyful experiences in between. Our attention is on peace. Our intention is peace. Therefore, from peace, we launch the missile of peace across the wall of concrete consciousness that believes in something other than peace. Gently allowing a gentle opening and inviting conversation where there's conflict, community where there's discord, and harmony in this space of symphonic resonance. May we hear the beauty of the music of the spheres as it comes alive within us. Today and every day this week, and maybe forevermore, may every step we take be as part of the solution, part of this team of consciousness. In the field of energetic awareness, we create a field of love around us. We are the sacred particle of peace, creating a field of love everywhere we go. Om Shanti, peace, shalom, Amen. After listening to those two songs, I was said back to back, but it's almost heart to heart with one another. There's that infinity symbol that keeps coming together. When we meet heart to heart, playing something heart to heart, we can operate from that sacred center. Where the mind goes, energy flows, is what many Qigong teachers say. And understanding what energy is. Most of us relate to energy and we say, how can we send peace to a place we're not even there? I know Reiki masters know how to do this. It's how remote healing takes place now. I remember many years ago, it was in 2006 when my father transitioned. There were friends of mine who were Reiki masters who sat in the front row of a concert I did the night of my father's funeral. I sang at his funeral in the morning, and that evening, those of you who are familiar with Jazz Up the Holidays, there was a Jazz Up the Holidays fundraising concert. It was one of those events the night of my father's funeral, and in many ways, it was the most normal thing I had done in a little while. You know, that transition process for my dad was an intense, deeply sacred time. It's not a typical part of my day. I'm not a death doula. I don't work at hospice. But for us, it was a really rich time. And I say there were people sitting in the front row who were Reiki practitioners of that concert, and they were just sending me energy. the whole time. And I could feel it. I could feel that from heart to heart, we can send energy. And I was just lifted by that. And then so I bring that place, I bring that time specifically up because it was a time that was really challenging. And I was physically, I could have said I was depleted, but I wasn't, because I knew how to charge myself with energy, although I had less of it than normal. I have to say that. So I was thinking of a time, one of the hardest times. If you could feel it then, you could feel it all the time. But it's when we need it the most that we need to be able to share it the most too. When we need it the most, we could be prepared to share it the most too, because in this confluence of bringing it in, when we get things, it's nice to be able to circulate them. To those which are given, more shall be given. And that's what it is, because we know how to keep it in circulation. So once we know how to harness the power of our attention, use our mind to harness the power of our attention, we can better serve our intention. It's like playing that game of volleyball again. The ball is the idea that comes into play. It's an awareness. It's a situation, let's say. What's the play? The play is the situation. How we collectively, individually practice our position so that collectively we can make a positive impact on our conscious global community. With the things we practice routinely, they become second nature. I remember my coach used to say that. You have to practice it until it becomes second nature. But what I say, it'll become first nature, because it'll bring us back to the set point of consciousness before we learned all of these reasons why we do things. Sometimes you'll just send peace for no good reason, and for every good reason you can find. No reason at all. It's because it's what we are made of. It's peace and love. So this thinking peace will increase peace. So when we bring our attention to the conflict in the Middle East or any other place where there's incongruence, or we're experiencing incredible breakdown in communication and hate and aggression, when we focus on those things, which is what, forgive me, I like getting information. I like getting accurate information about what's going on. But it's the business of the news to keep the conflict going. Remember we talked about this a couple of weeks ago? It's like soap operas. There's got to be somebody who's mixing it up, when all we really want is that it brings us to the edge of our emotion. And then there's this, resonance. There's like a relax, a resolve, if you will. But the news is to keep us peaked. So we keep looking for that charge. What happened today? What happened today? Now what's going on? Now what's going on? When we really can't effectively do anything about some of these things in our physical, the tangible part of our bodies, like flying there and trying to talk to people, we're not going to do that. But the intangible part of the energetic opportunity we have, there's the tangible energy. We can send goods and services, like we've been feeding people who were in need of food over the past couple of months here at SoulCall Global. Tangible. Our intangible energetic awareness created an opportunity for us to do something tangible. Today, I want to talk about getting into the intangible part and how we can, just like the Reiki people helped me at the concert, send something that is very palpable, tangible, felt, to help us to do the tangible thing we're doing with a heightened sense of awareness, staying in alignment with our intention to send peace. So this brings me to the Eightfold Path of Yoga. Many of you who are yoga practitioners have heard of the 2nd century before Common Era, Patanjali. And he came up with this Eightfold Path of Yoga, the yamas and niyamas. The yamas and the niyamas are the don'ts, like don't do these things, and the do's. Do be kind, do be peaceful. Then asana is the third one, which is posture, positions. You might say, there's a chant that goes, sitting in the asana of meditation. That's the posture. And so when you're practicing yoga with the physical body, putting the attention on the body, you're practicing postures, asanas. You want to throw those back up? I want to thank you so much. Natalia created these little, and pranayama. Most people think pranayama is breath control, but it's actually control of the life force energy. Breath is part of life force energy, but getting control of the prana, the life force, constant stream of vibratory sound. Then pratyahara is where I want to hang out today. Pratyahara, Dharana, and Dhyana. Those three things are where we're going to hang out today. But Pratyahara is the interiorization of mind. Dharana is with the expansion of consciousness. Dhyana is the interiorization of mind, where we become one, and the realization that we have control of our mind again, so we can completely put it where we want it to go. And Dhyana is being able to perceive God with this new consciousness, that we've taken control of our own minds again, and not what other people are saying or things that have been purported for centuries to be true but aren't. Like, we get our minds, our consciousness back, our awareness back. We own our minds. Now we put all of our newly owned chips of mind consciousness into the pot of God consciousness, where we recognize and realize a different level of awareness of macrocosm, microcosm, the big picture, and where we fit into that place. So if we talk about today, Pratyahara, interiorization of the attention, everybody knows by now, who's been watching us, that we have started Meditation Mondays, mostly for the sole reason, SOUL and SOLE reason, of remembering how to use our awareness, our attention, to place it on the thought of God. So if we think of this like the mind, the definition of mind, I was saying everybody's mind is a little bit different. We like to think that all minds are the same. Like when we say mind, there's this idea that everybody's mind is the same, and it's not. And I'll say that mind is like the houses on your street. Each one of them is wired a little bit differently. You live in the same neighborhood, so you kind of have some common values, but every person's mind is like the house where your consciousness resides. Your mind is your house, and your mind is different than my mind. My experiences are different. Therefore, the electrical circuits in my mind that use the energy of consciousness runs through the circuitry of my house. I'm wired differently than you on the outside. But when we can recognize that it is this cosmic, we all get the energy that runs through the electrical circuits of our minds to power our house of consciousness, if you will, literally will, figuratively will, from one divine source. If you live in Columbus, Ohio, it's AEP, where I live. We're all drawing electricity through the house from the same source, unless some of you are wise enough to have switched over to mostly solar by now. Many of us will do that, but it'll still be the same thing. We'll be charging it from the sun. Well, where did the sun come from? There's an internal sun. Rumi's sun was Shams. There's this internal light, and that is the consciousness of God. And the microcosm and the macrocosm, you'll see that it is just one cosmic intelligence powering it all. And when we interiorize the mind, turn it off of the sense telephones, as Paramahansa Yogananda likes to call them, by pulling all of this, it's like sense withdrawal from I'm not thinking, I'm not hearing, I'm not tasting, I'm not smelling, I'm not seeing, pulling all of that back into the spine and the brain. We can reprogram, rewire the circuitry. It's like sometimes you can think of the circuitry of your mind as still has old, was it knob and tube wiring? Is that what that was called? Back in the day, where direct current was the only thing that could happen in an alternating current. It was really tricky. Your house, it was really dangerous. We've evolved in how we get the information, but so we could rewire our consciousness to think new thoughts, different thoughts, one thought, God. So once we do that, once we have withdrawn our mind, the circuitry back to the power source, then we would talk about dhyana, which is the expansion of consciousness, where we can perceive God as macro and microcosm, which is the Om vibration. It's like repossessed. The expansion of consciousness, one can now perceive the micro and macrocosm vibrations of joy, light, love. And we do this again in meditation. So this is what we're teaching on Monday nights, is offering opportunities to meditation is Yes, Monday nights, 8 o'clock, right here. Meditation for the purpose of attaining God communion, Yogananda would say, is the very foundation of true religion. There are different types of meditation, and all of them are valuable. When we learn practices that just keep us focused, all of our mind on God, then thoughts come through us. We allow for Creator to create new mind, whole mind, pure mind, still mind. When we get to that point, then we can offer what we have. So, like sitting and waiting in meditation, I think about some people say you just have to sit there, and it's just like really hard to sit there. I think some of us might have spent more time sitting in a waiting room of a doctor than we've sat in meditation. Why could we wait for a pretty bright mind to help us figure out a solution to a challenge, but we won't wait equally as long, even once a day or twice a week, for the cosmic intelligence that is the microcosm to all of these little scenarios? We can't wait 20 minutes, but we could sit in a waiting room for an hour. Let's think about that for a minute. Contemplate the consciousness that is available to us. So once we have collected this, it's easy for us to place our intention in alignment with our attention. Our intention is peace, so I put my attention on peace. And the mind, the circuitry of my consciousness, sends that message through the wiring of the telephones, just dialing it out of the ether, if we will. I could send projected thought, juiced with the charge of peace and cosmic consciousness, anywhere I want, as fast. It's faster than the speed of light, as the speed of love, is what I've been saying for years. It's instantaneous and faster than that. Whatever your idea of instant is, it's even faster than that, because we are all connected. We are one. When I think it happens really fast, and faster than fast, So how do we do this? Practicing this presence of infinite source, practicing the presence of infinite source. So rather than putting our attention on the conflict, putting our attention on peace. Rather than putting our attention on the antagonists, placing our attention and sending, like our Reiki masters sent me, sending your good energy to those who are in the process of peace. Becoming more peaceful ourselves, so that as we move through the planet, wherever we are in the world, the force field around us is peaceful and loving. Like, think of these people we just want to be around. It just feels good when I'm around this person. It's the force field created by alignment with my attention is on my intention, and my intention is peace. So just getting that divine alignment, and then mind taps into cosmic consciousness and gets rewired like a house that just gets an uplifted consciousness. It just kind of smooths the grooves that have already been wired, pulls out all the old wiring, and streamlines it into direct contact with source. So we live from a place of stillness. I was out on a walk yesterday, and I was just contemplating love and all of this kind of, what I could put in, what kind of a thought I could produce that would create no thought. So to move from, this is going to be a talk next week or in 2 weeks, from new thought to no thought. I don't want a new thought. I want no thought. I don't want to create a disturbance in the field. I want to create peace. And it dawned on me that the thought that we could think that creates no equal opposite, but just creates more of itself, is love. Love is the thought we can think. It's the intention we could put our attention on to just expand in a way that it doesn't push. It's beyond vision. It's the recognition that when we are being love, we are creating too it's this simultaneous, we move from linear to this vertical reality of simultaneous vibrational dimensional experience. It's all at atonement, at oncement. It's all happening at once. and we are the solution at that point. So tomorrow we're going to practice on Monday's meditation about, allowing the infinite to come to us instead of pushing thoughts out to God, like, come to me, like demanding, just allowing, sitting and allowing. So the step one would be to just sit and allow and patiently wait. Like if you're trying to attract maybe a wild animal or one that's just not so sure. You know how if you go after the animal, it might show its teeth or it runs away. It very rarely does it just run right back to you. But if it's shy, or so we patiently, maybe we stick our hand out to see if it'll come over to us. And it might take weeks, might take a month if you're trying to befriend. I've got a neighbor who's befriended the deer in the backyard. And he's got videos of himself feeding corn to the deer right out of his hand. Amazing, but it took a while. It took him months to develop that relationship and that friendship. But he was persistent at it. How persistent can we be with making our intention to make direct contact with God, Goddess, Source, Infinite, Divine, Beloved, Divine Mother, whatever we call it, placing our attention on our intention, which is connection, cosmic intelligence, and resonance in that field of light and love. So just waiting for it. And the only thing we do instead of pushing a thought is just offer our hearts. When we offer our open heart in meditation, the infinite already knows the contents of our hearts. We don't have to verbalize it. We don't even have to say what we need. It already knows. We are it. It is us. And it is God's great pleasure to give us the kingdom, is what they say. Meaning, this and more shall be added unto you. Don't even ask. Just, it knows what we need in the succession that we might need it in before our rational mind can catch up. So placing our attention with our intention of being love. Being love. And so tomorrow I'll teach you, if you drop in on meditation, I'm going to teach you a meditation I do. It's called the love meditation, and how to pull in all the energy of the sense telephones and offer all of your intention, all of your might back to the source, and to see what grows out from this newly wired mind with cosmic consciousness, armed and hearted with the charge of love, which pulverizes anything in its path, but not in a destructive way, but in a way to make an improvement, a more positive impact on the conscious global community. You can be part of the awakening by awakening yourself. I can awaken myself. Just be love. Enjoy this song.
One clear thought, followed by one bold move, sets off a wave of emotion, making a way for a miracle. And what is a miracle? The shape of what can be, when we believe in what we cannot see. It is the courage of dreamers, song of the singers, bringing in a better tomorrow. Knowing truth in the face of fear, standing strong till the coast is clear. Be brave, be bold, be wise, be love. It's the power of one who won't stand up, followed by one who won't back down. And one by one we remain true to the vision, turning injustice around. God's change is sure to come, and we know that we're the ones. Be brave, be bold, be wise, be love. Just be love, just be love, just be love. Said you wanna be starting something, you got to be starting something.
Said you wanna be starting something, sing it. You got to be starting something. Said you wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something. Said you wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
You got to be starting something. Said you wanna be starting something.
Just be love. A change is sure to come when we know that we're the ones. Be brave, be bold, be wise, be brave, be bold, be wise, be brave, be bold, be wise, be love. Just be love. Just be love. Just be love.
It's our little Michael Jackson, Margaret Mead mashup from a while back. And thanks, Terry. And hello to Linda and Joy and Michelle and everybody else who's out there this morning. We want to invite you to join us tomorrow. I'm going to teach the love meditation, Meditation Mondays from 8 to 9. The purpose is we are a conscious global community. So when we practice being in that consciousness together, there's a deepening. Some people are experiencing better sleep. Not everyone, but some are. And others are experiencing different things too, just like different levels of awakening, being able to go deeper in meditations. It's free. Just go to soulcallglobal.org/evolve and get the link to register. And the registration is just, your name and your email address, so we can send you the link to come into the room. And so that's every Monday. But tomorrow we're going to be teaching a special meditation. And then on Tuesday evenings, we've got our backyard medicine with master teacher Faye Birch. This is going to be the third of a series of 4 classes this first time, but she's going to start another round right after this one. It is an amazing class. People are learning how to just pull weeds, herbs, medicine from the backyard and create vibration in their bodies that is just high, nourishing, cleansing, healing, things that we could all be doing to practice being on this conscious global community. The earth is such a loving home. And so very generous too. And then this Wednesday, I am so excited to invite you all, again, another free event to the SoulCall Story Slam, which is Wednesday, May 26th, 7 p.m. Again, it's a free event, but you've got to register to get the link just to come into the Zoom room, which is just your name and an email address, so we can invite you in to hear. People have been in Reverend Christy Hardwick's writing classes for several months now. And we're going to share some of what has come forth from their soul as expression in these classes. And many of you remember, this is a nod to Erika, who did the Story Slam. She organized one of the first Story Slams here in the area. And so this is going to be an event that we're going to continue with. But boy, the courageous souls and the wisdom that's coming forth from just sitting with the self and taking notes from the self, the soul self, are going to be shared. So do make an effort to come and join us for that. And getting ahead, save the date. Sunday, June 27th is going to be SoulCall Art in the Park. We're going to do a live stream SoulCall Sunday from the park in Upper Arlington, the Northern Pavilion there. But it's going to be a really fun day. Food, fun, just a day of community and, fellowship, just getting to see each other in 3D safely. But we're going to provide food. There'll be art in the park in conjunction with Eric Roush, who's going to do some pottery. I think Carol Witt might be joining us on the pottery thing there too, doing tiles, stone painting, Qigong. We're going to do live Qigong in the park, more than just 5 minutes of it. So mark your calendars and join us. And today, of course, in about 10 minutes at 11 o'clock, we're going to be in the Zoom room for the SoulCall Sunday Rewind, just chatting a little bit more about the topic for today and taking it a step further in your weekly practice. Natalia, did I forget anything? There's always some things. Please, thank you for your donations, and please keep them coming. We're doing amazing things and planning lots of big events and getting into a space as soon as we can where we can be together. And that's gonna require some funds to do. So we appreciate it. No donation is too large or too small. Thank you so much for that. And prayers, if you're in need of prayer, please don't go to sleep with something weighing on your heart. Allow us to pray with you, for you. Prayers at soulcallglobal.org. Share our newsletter. We find it's a really great way of letting people know who we are. And we've gotten a lot of people on our mailing list from the shares of our newsletter. They're finding it really valuable and well-rounded, as making us body, mind, spirit practitioners on the planet. So we invite you to do that and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all those places. So thank you for joining us this morning. And remember, wherever you are on the planet, you are loved. Peace and blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love, one